Have you ever wondered what it takes to achieve the pinnacle of success? I'm talking about billionaire entrepreneurs, world famous speakers and personal brands, the absolute pinnacle of success. Have you ever wondered what it actually takes? Because a lot of people talk about the general stuff. Well, you have to have a vision, you have to work hard, you have to be dedicated. I mean, we all kind of understand the basics. But have you ever wondered what does it really take specifically, tangibly, practically to get to that level in life? Well, my name is Brandon Burns. Every day means every day. And this video is about exactly that because I've been blessed to spend countless hours around people exactly like that. Some of my clients have been Eric Thomas, Master P, Deion Sanders. And then outside of them, I've been able to meet people like Jesse Itzler, Tom Bilyeu, billionaires, people who are famous around the world, people who have achieved incredible success. By the way, not just economically, but also people who have been married for 30 years, people who have built nonprofit foundations, that have built schools in Africa, like people who have experienced success in such a wide array of the facets of life. And I've come up with a couple of things that I believe are the most common denominators amongst all of these individuals that I've met and spent time with that contribute to their success. So without further ado, here's the three things. Number one, and this might be the most important, number three might be the most important. Let me just go through all three of them. Number one, they have massively unrealistic expectations about what's possible. They have massively unrealistic expectations about how long it's going to take, and they have massively unrealistic expectations about how easy it is to get it done. These people just have a sense of belief that they almost believe that they have a magic wand. They're like, this is what I want. How does it come to life? How do we make this happen? And they don't really want to hear, oh, well, we're going to have to hire 10 more people to make that happen. It's going to cost this much. Here's all the reasons it's not going to work. Here's all the reasons why it's a bad idea. They don't really want to hear that. They just walk through life with this belief that, boom, this is the vision. This is what I want. How do we make it happen? And I think that's such a telling thing. I mean, people like myself, right? I'm very analytical. I'm very strategic, just naturally, my personality style. And so typically I process these sorts of ideas and visions and goals through, well, how do I accomplish it? All the people that I've been around, they don't think that way. Now, they get there eventually. You have to be strategic in order to get to that level of success. So I'm not saying just throw it out the window. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But what I am saying is that their starting point of all of their ideas is, yes, it's possible. Yes, we can do this. Yes, we can knock it out incredibly quickly. It's going to be easy for us to accomplish this. Okay, now how do we do it? Whereas I think a lot of people start with, oh, I got to figure out all the details. I got to map out every minute little nuance. I got to think about, oh, this is another reason it's probably not going to work. Let me figure out how to solve that problem. Here's another reason it won't work. Let me solve that. Let me fix this. And then maybe, hopefully, you get a little belief later down the line. But most of the time, you end up just destroying your own belief in the process. These people don't do that. They're unrealistic, and they'll fight for that unrealistic belief. They don't want to hear anything about, oh, be realistic, slow down. They don't want to hear it. So that's one thing. You got to train yourself to think that way. How do you do that, B? Well, one thing I want you to do, it's called the 100 things exercise. Take a piece of paper. I want you to write down 100 things that you want in life. And I want you to dream to the level of your ambition, not to the level of your or other people's expectations or opinions. Meaning, you want a private jet? Write it down and be specific about the things that you want. All right. But the reason I want it to be 100 is because right about 27, 34, 42, you're going to be like, dang, I'm running out of stuff, man. I don't know what else I can put down here. And that's exactly the point. I want you to practice breaking through that constrained, limited mentality and expand your mind a little bit with the assumption, yes, I can have it. Yes, I can do it quickly. Yes, this is going to be easy. And just start thinking that way daily, not occasionally. All right. That's the first thing. They're massively unrealistic about their expectations. Number two, they have an unrelenting work ethic. They have a sickening, unrelenting work ethic. And it's funny because I've talked to a lot of these guys, and a lot of them talk about work-life balance and about how they make room for their family and they make room for vacation and all these things. And what I've realized is it's a complete lie. Like, and I don't care if you talk to somebody who's been married for 30 years, they've got, their relationship is their family is a core pillar of their life. I don't care who you're looking at. These could be the most wholesome people. They're lying when they say that they have work-life balance. Now, they're not lying in a sense that they're trying to deceive you or that they're trying to hold something back, but they've literally tricked themselves into thinking that what they do is work-life balance in the way that most people think of it. When most people say work-life balance, they mean we go to work from, I don't know, 8 to 3 or 8 to 4, during the day. I come home, the phone is off, and I'm 100% present with the family. And then, we go on 2 vacations a year, whatever that looks like. That is not what these people do. These people are constantly answering texts. These people are constantly taking calls, but they've found a way to align it with their life. So maybe they do have an hour in the morning or at night where it's just family time and everything else goes away. Great. But then the rest of the time, they found a way to integrate their work into their life. I know one guy who they go to, Cabo and Cancun, all these different destinations, once every other month, but they'll do a mastermind there. They'll do a work event there, right? And so it becomes this thing where it's more so alignment and not balance. So the reason I want to say that to you is because I think a lot of people beat themselves up because they're like, oh, I don't have work-life balance. I think you just haven't figured out how to align everything in your life yet so that it doesn't feel like it's intrusive, but you're still pretty much working all the time. Your work becomes a part of your life because it's mission focused. It's not like, oh, there's this thing that I don't want to do. I just kind of have to do it to pay for the rest of my life. It's all one thing, right? That's what these hyper successful guys do. Unrelenting work ethic. It's all the time. Their work is their life. And if they say otherwise, they don't mean it. They think that they do, but they don't. They've just figured out how to align everything, and most people haven't. Number 3, last but not least, these individuals are heavily grounded in principles. They know who they are. They know what they stand for. They know what they believe in, and they're not shy about it at all. I've told this story a couple times on this channel, but I've literally watched E.T. turn down 6-figure speaking engagements because it was on his daughter's birthday. He was like, you can move the engagement or I can not do it, but there's not a dollar amount that you can wire me right now to make me show up on my daughter's birthday. And his daughter was grown at this point too. She was like 20 something. And I think that's so cool. But what's weird is a lot of people that are at that caliber, that's just what I've noticed. That's what I've seen. They're not pulled by the influences that you probably think that they're pulled by, right? And listen, I've been in a unique position because I've seen what I would consider really, really solid people outside of their success. I'm not talking about the entertainment industry. I'm not talking about actors and musicians. I think a lot of them are puppeteered and controlled all day long. The people that I've been around, the billionaire entrepreneurs, the speakers, the personal brands, these individuals, they just know who they are and they know what they stand for. And they're not willing to take a check in order to compromise their values and what they believe in. It's just something that I've noticed is super consistent amongst all of them. They have a intense level of self-awareness, a very high degree of authenticity and strategic vulnerability, and they just don't compromise and allow themselves to be controlled by circumstances, environments, or other people, or even money or anything else. They're just solid people, and they know who they are to their core. So they're grounded in their principles. That's my 3 things of the most common factors I've seen amongst these folks, right? Massively unrealistic beliefs, unrelenting work ethic, / they kind of just align everything in their life, so their work is their life. And then last but not least, they're grounded in their principles. So I just wanted to make this video because there's so many people who talk about personal development and what it takes to be successful. And I think there's very few people who have actually been in rooms, with these individuals who are all 8-figure earners and famous and this, that, and the third, but also really solid people, good families, good relationships, etc. And I just wanted to give you a little peek behind the curtain at what I've learned from firsthand experience, because I think those are things that we can all adopt. And I think that, again, we can train ourselves to do that, right? Like the first one, the unrealistic beliefs. Let's start practicing visioneering unrealistic things and just write it out on paper. And sooner or later, you start to believe that. You start to think in that way more easily. For being grounded in principles, do you know what you stand for? Have you written down your core values, your core beliefs? And then for the middle one there, which was, what was it? I got to pull my notes back up. Unrelenting work ethic. Start asking yourself, how can I focus more on alignment and less on balance? How can I not allow this to come in between my relationships, my fulfillment, my peace, my happiness, but also how can I kind of be ready at a moment's notice at any given time to make the next sale, to take the next call, to do the next thing, to create the next product? You got to start thinking about these things. But these are all learnable behaviors, but nobody's going to do it for you. You have to say, conscious intervention here. This is what's going to change. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you liked it, share it with somebody else who would get value from it. Subscribe, like, comment your biggest takeaway below, and I'll see you on the next video. Do not forget that every day means every day.